we're going to be going into some serious ecliptic energy, some main character energy, some selfish season energy. Welcome back, Astro fam. I hope you are as excited as I am to break down the astrology of March. We have so much to discuss. The energy we are moving into March with is going to be dramatically different from the energy we're leaving March with. I'm going to help you navigate all of that today, of course, through the lens of having better relationships. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Mandy Rose. I'm a relational astrologer. So through my content and understanding the current cosmic weather, and of course, when I read your birth chart, I'm going to take the lens of helping you have better relationships. And in today's video, we are breaking down the entire month of March. We're going to go through, of course, the planet by planet breakdown, the date by date breakdown. I'm going to give you the top 5 transits, things that are going on this month that I'm paying attention to. And like I do at the end of all my videos, I'm going to break down each rising sign and which area of your life you're going to want to pay attention to as we navigate the shifts and twists of the month ahead and how they may impact relationships in your life. So thank you for being here. You want to grab your 2024 Astrology Alchemy Journal if you have that. You can take some notes in it when we get to the new, the full moon, and the sun seasons. We're also going to talk a little bit about Mercury and Saturn's upcoming retrogrades because both of those planets go into pre-shadow this month. So you may want to take some notes in those pages in your journal. Also, if you have your birth chart handy, definitely grab that because I'll be letting you know where each one of our life coach planets is going to be in the sky in the month of March. So you can see if there's any planets this month that are activating any particular spot within your chart. And then, of course, grab your calendar. I know you have things already scheduled for the month ahead. You want to make sure that you know what is going on in the sky at the time of your events so you can navigate them best. So we're going to start out really with an overview of the energy we're moving into March with. These are where the planets are in the sky on March 1st. And we can see here we're really moving in with this energy still very present of our triple conjunction. Saturn, Sun, and Mercury all piled up in the sky in the zodiac energy of Pisces as we left February and entered into March. This is such a serious energy, right? Saturn is our disciplinarian, our tough love dad, asking us to get committed and to do the things in life that we know are tough, that we know are challenging. But if we do them, if we overcome them, we are going to be rewarded. We're going to feel like we've grown and we've expanded. And when the sun comes into this place next to Saturn, it illuminates it, it heats it up, right? It makes us focus our attention on something. Wherever the sun is, it's like a spotlight upon it. And when you put Mercury into the mix, our mind, it's like we're really thinking about how to take action, how to be responsible, what we need to do, our tasks, our responsibilities, right? What we need to be committed to, having conversations, asking questions. And so as we're moving into March, we're feeling a lot of this energy of like, damn, things are getting serious. I need to get with the program, right? We just came out of the full moon in Virgo energy, which highlighted some responsibilities that we've been slacking on. And now we have this opportunity. Remember, this month, we're going into the Astrological New Year. So before the 19th, we got to get serious. We got to get committed. We got to get disciplined. We got to do some tough things to twist and turn our life into a more concrete, solid foundation so that as we move into the new year and as we get into some of the really exciting astrological alignments coming up in April and May, we're ready for them. So we're going into March, although it's Pisces season, with this very serious kind of under-earthing energy of like, all right, I feel it. I got to get it together. Now, like I said, as we move into March, we're entering in Pisces energy. Look at all the planets in Pisces. We're going to have a new moon in Pisces. Pisces is such a beautiful energy, especially if you're into astrology. You probably love Pisces season because it's the sun season of the metaphysical realms, right? It's about imagination and being creative. It's about connecting to our intuition. It's about, the woo-woo world, the psychic world, the astrological energy of connecting to the divine, connecting to the universe, connecting to our higher self. We love this Pisces energy. It allows us to be more compassionate, more forgiving, more understanding, more emotional, more sensitive. It's a beautiful time of year. But the other thing we must remember with Pisces season and so many planets moving through Pisces at the beginning of March is it's a time for resting, retreating, recharging, re-energizing, right? Because it's the 12th and final season before we begin the astrological new year, starting on the spring equinox this year on the 19th of March. And that's when a lot of these planets are going to shift into this Aries energy, which is the first sign of the zodiac year, which is about initiating and taking action and getting that fire under our butt and being bold and being brave and just getting out there. This year, more than ever, when we shift out of Pisces energy, rest and retreating and getting serious and doing the work, to Aries season, getting a fire lit under us, we're going to be going into some serious ecliptic energy, some main character energy, some selfish season energy. And so Pisces, where it's very like Jesus-like, forgiving, compassionate, empathetic, caring about others, to Aries, selfish AF, doing what you need to do, staying in your lane, focusing on your goals. It's going to feel like a complete 180 for us energetically. So beginning of March to the end of March, we're two totally different people focused on two totally different things. So during each of these seasons, Pisces and Aries, to stay in energetic alignment with the cosmos and our path, we have to be in both of these energies at the appropriate time. So from the 1st of March until the 19th, we're going to rest, we're going to retreat, we're going to get serious on the things that we know we need to do. We're going to take responsibility for our health, our spiritual, energy, our emotional bodies. We're going to do the things that we need to do to clear space in our life, whether that is cleaning space in your home, cleaning space in your friendship group, cleaning space in your budget. Like, where do you need to clean some space up to prepare for the new, for Aries energy, the new year? And once that sun hits Aries and all these planets kind of shift into that hot fire, passionate energy, you got to get going. Get on your goals. Stay in your lane. I want you to be laser focused. Be selfish. Say no. Be your toddler under 7. And just do the damn thing you need to do. Now, that's kind of the main energy. But we do have to remember, we have the eclipses beginning at the end of March. And we have planets moving into their pre-shadow energy to lead us into retrograde season. And so with there being so much going on this month, why don't we just start breaking it down bit by bit and starting out with the top 5 transits or top 5 energies this month I'm paying attention to as an astrologer that will help guide you where to focus your energy. So the first thing this month that I think is kind of the overlying theme we need to pay attention to is that Neptune gets a lot of activity. Now, if you watch my previous forecast videos, you know I don't talk a whole lot about Neptune because he's a very slow-moving planet, and he's been over here in Pisces for many, many years. And so unless there's planets in this area of the sky, he's kind of just a loner doing his own thing. And understanding Neptune is the concept of dreaming, la la land, in the ethereal world, creating art, creating poems, very romantic, very just, feeling really beautiful. So when planets kind of get near Neptune, we now start to feel this energy of wanting to dream bigger, of wanting to be more romantic, of wanting to be more creative, of wanting to be more spiritual, of wanting to be more connected to the divine. Maybe our psychic gifts start opening up. So with the sun and Mercury and Venus and Mars all coming conjunct with Neptune, some of these themes are going to become more prominent. And the way to embrace them in your life is to do the Pisces thing. It's to retreat, it's to rest, it's to slow down so that you can receive the cosmic downloads, so you can tap more into your intuition, so you can feel more dreamy and romantic, so you can manifest more. But you have to be in a flow state, a receptive state, right? Pisces is water, in the fish's energy of just flowing in order to receive all these themes and the beautiful benefits that Neptune gives us. So Neptune is a highlight key player this month, and that's very rare. That does not happen for us every month. And the second key player this month is going to be Saturn, right? Saturn is in Pisces. This is a theme we've talked about since last year in March when he entered into Pisces. Remembering the last time he was in Pisces was way back in the mid 1990s, 30 years ago. And he's shown back up in this area of the sky where we tend to be more avoidant, where we tend to put rose-colored glasses on, where we tend to dream more, where we tend to escape more. So wherever Pisces falls in your chart, it's the area of life that kind of you just don't want to pay attention to. You just want to say, oh, all is well. Everything is fine. I have faith in the universe. Like that, it's okay. And then Saturn comes in after 30 years and is like, listen, no more lazy daisy here, no more escapism, no more avoiding, no more playing victim in this area of your life. I'm here to force you to take responsibility, to create routines, to become more disciplined, to be committed, to do the hard things you have to do to make this area of life more solid, more secure, because I won't be back for another 30 years. And so Saturn has been working us and working us and working us on this Pisces area of life. And now this year, because he's made it so far into this energy, now when the sun rolls around and we have a new moon here and Mercury and Venus and Mars all rolls around here, we have to get more serious than ever. We have to take more responsibility than ever. And so Saturn is a key player this month because of all this conjunction going on. The other thing to know is on the day we enter into the astrological new year, on the 19th of March, Saturn crosses over 12 degrees of Pisces, entering into his pre-shadow phase. This is going to be the area of the sky that he is going to eventually retrograde all the way back to by the time we get to November of this year. And so essentially on the astrological new year, that is the time to get more serious than ever, especially in this Pisces area of your life. Do you know the lesson that Saturn is trying to teach you? If you don't, I highly recommend you go back to my video that I posted last year in March on Saturn and what his lesson is to you based on your rising sign as he moves through the area of Pisces, because it's getting some work. And that really starts this month. And his retrograde will begin at the end of June, but it's really from the astrological new year until June where you got to start doing the thing. You got to be your own tough love dad. You got to start getting committed, because otherwise it's going to bite you in the butt. Remember, he's Lord Karma. And when he comes out of retrograde in November, either he rewards you or he punishes you. And that really begins on the astrological new year. Now, Mercury's also going to enter his pre-shadow phase once he gets to 15 degrees of Aries. He will not begin his retrograde until the 1st of April, but we do have to know that Saturn and Mercury are both starting this energy of saying, hey, there's something we have to circle back to. There's something in our life that's going to happen this month in March that is going to have to come back around. That's going to need double attention. That's going to need another lens or review or reconsideration. Just knowing that we're moving closer towards retrograde season is going to help us just take a little bit more responsibility for everything that's going on around us starting out this month. Now, the third thing, of course, that is so exciting happening in March of 2024 is the fact that we are kicking off the astrological new year. And I'm going to make a completely separate video. This is such an exciting day. It happens on the spring equinox when the sun moves into 0 degrees of Aries. So much to celebrate. It is where, the energy all begins. And wherever Aries falls in your chart, it's kind of the anchor of your chart of where all the kind of energies comes to fruition. And so when the sun moves into Aries, on March 19th, this date changes every single year depending on, the shifting of the cosmos. But this year it's on March 19th at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to kick off this Aries energy. And at that time, I want you to remember that we are also moving into eclipse season because the North Node is also in Aries. And so we are going to be moving into this very fated and destined time for things shifting and changing for us. So really embracing that Aries energy of, being selfish, being very committed to your dreams and your wants and your needs and your desires and being so clear and laser focused, cleaning up your own backyard, not worrying about anyone else. We're going to cut out the people pleasing. We're going to cut out the opinions of others. Like this astrological new year is going to feel like a rebirth for so many of us, coming home to our inner child and the things that we've desired since we were very young and saying, you know what, my time is now. And I don't care what anyone thinks. I am going for my dreams. And we're going to be doing that in a more bold and passionate way than ever before. So I'm really, really looking forward to the astrological new year this year. Now, the fourth thing just to remember as we talk about the energy of March is the fact that this month is our last month with no active retrogrades. And even though Saturn and Mercury are entering into pre-shadow, they will not actively be retrograde in the month of March. So this is our last chance to get going, to do the things, to initiate projects, to start the things that we want to start moving on. Now, it may be a little challenging because remember, we're in Pisces energy, so we're supposed to be slowing down, we're supposed to be intuitive, we're supposed to be more recharging and resting, but we have this little window, this little pocket around the astrological new year before the eclipses begin to launch the thing, to take action, to start something new. And so really around the middle of the month, if there's something that you've been kind of holding off on, I want you to get your ducks in a row. I want you to get Saturn committed. get your responsibilities in order and get that out in the universe, because once eclipse season begins, it will launch us into retrograde season. And so anything that is launched may not work out in your favor, or you may have to circle back around. Retrogrades aren't bad. Remember, they're just lesson learning periods that give us a second and third opportunity to course correct something. So it doesn't mean that you can't launch things. It just means that we are going to need a review or course correction down the road. So things don't just have as smooth of sailing. They kind of maybe have to do a loop-de-loop or two to get to where we want to go. Both paths are great. It's just if we want to capitalize on something that we want to happen now, we got to get it out there in the universe right in the middle of the month as we move into the astrological new year. The fifth thing, which I've already kind of mentioned, is we are moving into eclipse season. Now, I can make a completely separate video on eclipse energy, but for the purpose of this March astro forecast, we're going to just keep it really simple, knowing that when we are in eclipse season, it is the nodes of fate, the nodes of destiny, the North Node in Aries, and the South Node in Libra, which is kind of karma, cutting cords, releasing and letting go. So these are periods where maybe our free will is a little bit more tied. Things that are fated and destined for us will be coming into our realm. It's a period where you don't really have to do anything. You just have to be hyper aware and focused at what's happening to you. Eclipses happen to us to bring something into our awareness, into our reality that causes a change within us to change our reality from within. And so it's kind of this, like, something comes to us, we recognize it, oh my gosh, yes, that's what I want, or oh my gosh, no, that's what I don't. Now I course correct, now I shift, now I change, now I adjust, and I act. And that's what eclipse season does for us. Now we will have the new moon in Pisces in the beginning of the month. When that new moon in Pisces fades out and we are moving into the energy of the full moon, right? You're going to see this darkness in the sky. And every day in the middle of March, as you start to see that sliver of the moon getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it leads to that full moon in Libra, the eclipse on the 25th, I want you to remember, as that moon is getting bigger, you're like, all right, eclipse energy, the portal is opening. The portal is opening. And so just being aware of that. So eclipse season, you're going to start feeling it already about the 20th, the 21st of the month. Eclipse energy can be felt for about a week before the actual eclipse, all the way through the second eclipse and a week after that. So just pay attention. The eclipses are coming. Things are shifting, and we got to be keeping our eye on the North Node, on the energy of Aries in your own unique personal birth chart, which we'll talk about when we get to the rising signs, but also just that concept of my dreams, my will, my desire. So we're going to be stepping into our main character energy this month. I am loving it. I am here for it. I can't wait to see how it manifests in my life, in your life, in the collective. But with that, let's go ahead and do the planet by planet breakdown. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these planets off the chart. We're going to put them back up one by one, focusing on what each life coach is up to this month, what lessons they're trying to teach us. And you may want to grab out your birth chart for this one, because I'm going to give you the degree points in the sky they're going to be traveling through, so you can see if they're activating anything within your own unique chart. All right, so we are going to break it down. This is where we get way into the details, and usually we start out with the sun, but this month we're going to go backwards. We're going to start out with Chiron. Now, Chiron is our wounded healer. He always looks like a key, remembering he is the key to unlocking our soul's true happiness, because we overcome some sort of healing, some trauma, some wound, something that needs to be dealt with in this lifetime. Now, Chiron is in the zodiac energy of Aries, and he has had a very special alignment with the North Node, also in Aries, remembering that the North Node is our current North Star in the sky. And the North Node has been traveling through the energy of Aries since July of last year. And it will be in Aries all the way through till the end of 2024. And so in the month of February, we had this beautiful alignment, this beautiful conjunction of Chiron running into the North Node. This is such a time for healing, right? If the North Node is our North Star, where we're looking, the focus of our energy at this time. And Chiron is the wound that needs to be healed. When this conjunction happens, it's saying, hey, there is something here that needs to be dealt with. So if you had health issues come up, whether they were mental health, physical health, maybe it's like some somatic stuff, emotional stuff, old stuff that needs to be healed in the month of February, This is going to continue into March. These two celestial bodies, although they are no longer exactly conjunct, are going to still be in each other's presence as we move into the astrological new year. Now, Chiron is moving from 17 degrees of Aries to 18 degrees. The North Node, remember, moves backwards, and that will be moving from 16 degrees back to 15 degrees. Now, remembering wherever we have the North Node, opposite in the sky, we have the South Node, right? The South Node is what we release, what we cut away from, what we let go. And so the North Node in Aries is saying, keep your eyes on this Aries energy, being more selfish, focusing more on your own wants and your own desires, being more of a toddler under 7, right? Demanding things, being bold and being direct and being honest. And South Node in Libra, cutting away, Libra energy is relationships that don't serve you, people pleasing, toxic codependency. And so this is such an energy as we move into eclipse season, which deals with the nodes of destiny of saying the time is now to focus on your own life, on your own dreams, and less about worrying about everyone else. And I've been talking about this so much in my astrology, and I can talk about it again and again through the rest of the year as this energy is present. And that is, in society, we have focused so much of our energy on what other people think, on what other people expect of us, on the opinions of others, what is right, what is wrong. And we have lost ourselves. And we care more about what the other people are doing, what their problems are, what they need to fix, right? It's so easy to say, they have this problem. They need to clean up this. Their relationship is bad. They need to get a better job. Like, it's so easy to point out the flaws in others, but we don't ever focus on our own. And the reason we focus on others is because we don't want to look at our own. This Chiron North Node energy is saying you need to look at yourself. You need to look at what needs to be healed within you, in your own backyard, within your own families, within your own budget, within your realm. And step into that, take ownership of it, heal it once and for all so we can have better relationships. And so, as that eclipse starts happening, when we get to the 25th of the month, it's going to be a lot of cutting out opinions, people pleasing, relationships, people that don't serve us, people that make us feel bad about ourselves. There is so much to talk about with that eclipse at the end of the month. Like, of course, I'll make a separate video, but Saturn's involved, Venus is involved, like, relationships got to go. And you might be the one cutting them out, and you might be the one that's getting cut out. But regardless, we are stepping into our main character energy. So I want you to stay in your own lane with the North Node and Chiron being in Aries. Now let's kind of keep moving backwards. We're going to talk about Pluto, right? Pluto, he is in this magical dance of moving from Capricorn into Aquarius for the next 20 years. Fun fact, if you caught my last video, as we move into the month of March on leap year, the 29th of February, Pluto was at 1 degrees and 11 minutes of Aquarius, 111, a place that he has not been in the sky for over 250 years. So as we move into March, he starts out the month at 1 degrees and 12 minutes. He moves very, very slowly, staying at 1 degrees for the entire month. Then we move on to Neptune. Like I said, Neptune doesn't get a whole lot of attention from us other than the fact that when he gets a visitation from all these planets. Now, he's in the zodiac energy of Pisces. He is the ruler of Pisces. He is at home here. He's been here for many, many years, since 2009, and he is going to be here for another few years. He is already at 26 degrees. He'll move 1 degree this month to 27, so he's hanging out in the tail end, getting into his full power as he moves closer and closer into the anaretic degree of 29 degrees. Now, that's not happening this year, but it's super exciting to know that he is getting closer. So, final lessons of Neptune in Pisces: dream big, have faith, get into your spiritual beliefs, get very committed to your own intuition, becoming more compassionate, becoming more empathetic, tapping more into your emotional body, like all the Neptune in Pisces energies. So going within and becoming your own healer is going to be this major, major lesson. Now, we'll get into all the visitations he's having with the other planets in just a moment, but just know that Neptune in Pisces is a very powerful energy we're going to feel this month. Then continuing our backwards momentum into Uranus, we know that Uranus is the planet of revolution, rebellion, shaking things up in our lives, and we know that he is in the zodiac energy of Taurus. He has been here since 2019, so we've been feeling this energy in the Taurus area of our life, having these shakeups, having these liberations, having all these major changes. Uranus this month isn't up to a whole lot other than the fact that he's in a fight with Mars and a fight with Venus, and he's going to shake some things up in our life, but he is parked over here in Taurus at 19 degrees and will only move to 20 degrees. Now he's getting excited because his dear friend Jupiter is getting closer and closer. Jupiter is also in the energy of Taurus. He has been hauling butt. Remember, Jupiter at the beginning of the year was only at 5 degrees of Taurus. He came out of retrograde on the 1st. We love this because when Jupiter comes out of retrograde and starts moving forward, the energy of abundance and blessing and luck and expansion and growth and all the things that Jupiter brings to us starts moving forward, starts coming into our reality. And he has hauled so much butt that by March 1st, he is already at 11 degrees. And this month, he'll move from 11 degrees all the way to 17 degrees of Taurus, getting closer to Uranus. Their exact conjunction is on 420. We're calling that the lottery aspect. It is when these blessings and opportunities and expansive, things come into our life suddenly and shockingly that liberate us, that changes our future, with him running into Uranus. So something to look forward to. So this month, they're kind of just doing their dance in Taurus, having these squares, with the planets moving out of Aquarius. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But make sure you know where Taurus is in your chart. That lottery aspect is coming in hot. And we got to get through eclipse season first. So don't get too excited yet. Then we're going to talk about Saturn, right? Saturn is our tough love dad. Wherever Saturn is, that is the area of life that we are learning some lessons. We're getting more committed. We're taking more responsible action. We're overcoming some obstacles. And Saturn is parked in Pisces. Now, he entered Pisces last year in March. He's going to be here for another year and a half. So these, lessons aren't going anywhere. They're just becoming more intense. They're becoming more serious this month. He moves from 9 degrees of Pisces to 13 degrees. When he gets to 12 degrees of Pisces, remember, that is the area of the sky that he will retrograde back to by the time we get to November. And so once he crosses that 12-degree mark, these are all things in our life, all the discipline, all the commitment, all the obstacles, all the challenges, all the hard things that we know we need to do, that we feel deep in our gut, like, damn, I know I need to do this. I know we need to do this. Don't avoid it. Don't avoid it, because Saturn's going to come back to it. He's going to bring it back up into your reality, and we hope it's a reward and not a punishment. So Saturn is just working his stuff this month. He's in new territory, bringing us new lessons, bringing more stability to things. He's just helping us create a stronger foundation. Now we get more into the personal planets. So we're talking about Mars. Mars, as we start out the month, is still in the zodiac energy of Aquarius. He'll be moving from 12 degrees of Aquarius to 6 degrees of Pisces. So this month, he does not run into Saturn, but he's getting close. Once we get into April, we will have a Mars-Saturn conjunction, which Mars is, taking action, and Saturn's like on the lessons, overcoming the obstacles, taking responsibility. So that is coming for us. But this month alone, most of the month, Mars will be in a square with Uranus. And so this is something we really want to pay attention to. It's happening from the 7th until about the 15th. If we know that Uranus is revolution, rebelling, surprises, jolting, just electrical energy, and Mars is the warrior filled with passion, taking action, being a little aggressive, this energy can feel a little volatile. It can feel like cutting something out of your life instantly. It could feel like something comes at you like a lightning bolt that makes you take action. And sometimes it's not, well thought out action. It's spontaneous action. It's instant action. It's impulsive action. So I want you to be very careful from March 7th until the 15th with this Mars-Uranus square. And when some shift or something jolting comes in, take that breath. The sun is going to be in Pisces. We are supposed to go into our intuition. We're supposed to trust in the divine. We're supposed to just take a rest, a pause, slow it down, and then move forward. But this could be very jolting, especially because Aquarius and Taurus, where these square energies are happening, are fixed signs. So it's ultimately trying to unstick something in our life, to shift us out of something that's been like a pattern. But it can come on suddenly, and we can act impulsively because we're so desperate for the change and we're so quick for it to be different that it may not always feel good, or it may not end up being the right thing for us. So I just want you to be very, very cautious. I guess an example I could give you is like, let's say you are not happy with like your home and you want to move, right? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, your landlord comes to you and is like, I'm putting this house up for sale. You got to get out by the end of the month, right? Uranus, jolting, liberating, unexpected. And Mars is impulsive, and Mars takes action. And so you get upset, you get angry, you say some words back, and that leads to you ultimately maybe not getting your deposit back, or maybe you're impulsive and you just like jump on renting an Airbnb or finding a new place to live. And that impulsiveness didn't allow you to think clearly or to trust your intuition. And it gets you into the next situation that causes you to have to learn another lesson. So, things can shift very quickly, but we want to think them through, because Mars is not much of a thinker. He's more of an actor. And our mind, unfortunately, with Mercury this month is going to be more shut down. So we'll get to Mercury in just a moment, but let's talk about Venus this month. Venus is also still in the zodiac energy of Aquarius as we start out the month. Remember, in the middle of February, we had Mars and Venus, the lovers of the zodiac, coming together on the 22nd. And that was such a beautiful day, because that means our relationships, our masculine and feminine energies are now realigned in an Aquarius theme and an Aquarius energy, allowing us to be authentic in our relationships, allowing us to see more of the collective picture in relationships, of allowing us to kind of step out of societal norms in our relationships and do things in a more unconventional way. So really exciting energy. And this month, Venus is also going to be moving out of Aquarius from 16 degrees all the way into the zodiac energy of Pisces to 23 degrees of Pisces. We love this energy. On March 11th, when Venus hits Pisces, Venus is what we love, how we love, who we love, what we want to make beautiful in our life, where we find pleasure in our life. And when she is doing that in a Piscean way, we are doing that through spiritual divine guidance. We are doing that through the Jesus-like lens of compassion and empathy and sensitivity. It is going to be a beautiful time in our life to really be stepping into relationships in a more heart-centered way, to do some great healing, to make our life more beautiful through spiritual practices and meditation and journaling and artwork. It's a time where we can really expand our imagination. It is such a romantic season. So if you're like trying to date, or you're trying to spice up your relationship again with some like deeper connection, this Venus and Pisces energy is going to be absolutely beautiful. You can tap into it. It's going to feel so juicy and so yummy. However, by the time we get to the 21st, 22nd, till about the 25th, Venus is going to run into Saturn. So I want you to pay attention around this day. It's on the Astrological New Year. It's right at the time of the eclipse. So this is very, very important to recognize and pay attention to. If you have anything going on in your relationships from the 20th until that eclipse, I want you to be very cautious and careful, because as Venus runs into Saturn, that is doing the tough thing in your relationships. It is making a decision, right? It is creating a new foundation. It is committing or uncommitting to someone, right? And that eclipse on the 25th is happening in the zodiac energy of Libra. So Venus is the ruler of the first eclipse this month, and she's going to be conjunct Saturn. Now, at the last eclipse in Libra, which was back on October 10th, Venus was opposite Saturn in the sky. And so we're ending the 6-month cycle of something that happened in October in our relationships, where we maybe said, do I want to be committed to this person or not? Maybe something came up and you're saying, I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. I don't know if I want to be with this person the rest of my life. And you've been thinking it through, and you've been having conversations, and you've been going through your relationships over and over again. And now 6 months later, this eclipse is going to happen, and it's either going to be do or die. Either we're in it or we're out of it. And that eclipse can really bring something jolting to you. Maybe the person promised to change, and maybe they have changed. And now at the eclipse, they go back to their own habits. They're going back to their own ways, and you're seeing it clearly under the eclipse. And it's like lightning bolt. No more. I need to do the tough thing, Saturn. I need to take responsibility for my own dreams, my own goals, my own life. I need to clean up my own backyard. I need to be my own main character, North Node in Aries, and something really major can happen with that. So I want you to be really careful. That is happening at 12 degrees of Pisces. So if you have any planets around, 10 to 14 degrees of Pisces, that's going to be very activated with that Saturn-Venus conjunction. It's a very serious day. Now, as we get into April, Venus will eventually run into Neptune. We love that energy, right? We got this dreamy, ethereal, rose-colored glasses, Jesus-like energy of Neptune with Venus, the lover, the feminine. It's going to be beautiful, but that's not happening till April. So we'll come back and circle to that. Now let's go back to Mercury, our mind, how we think, how we express, how we communicate, what we're wanting to talk about. And this month we start out with Mercury in the zodiac energy of Pisces. He moves from 12 degrees of Pisces all the way to 26 degrees of Aries. So Mercury is up to a lot this month because as he's in Pisces, he's going to run into Saturn, he's going to run into Neptune, then he's going to move into Aries. He's going to run into Chiron. Then he's going to run into the North Node. He's going to start his pre-shadow getting ready for retrograde. And he's going to be active with the eclipse. So Mercury, big star of the show. So what does this mean for us? Well, if Mercury is our mind and it's how we think and it's how we express and it is our conversational energy, when he's in the zodiac energy of Pisces, as we start out March, how we can kind of equate this is if Mercury is our processing software, it's how we're thinking, and Pisces is a big old puddle of water, it is like literally taking a computer and tossing it into the puddle and it's short circuiting. So your mind, your communication, thinking, understanding, researching is going to feel so watered down, so foggy, so hazy. You're going to feel like, you know, that feeling when you get off a merry-go-round and you're so dizzy and you like can't tell where left or right is or where people are, it just feels like everything is spinning. That's the energy of our mind until Mercury moves into Aries, which is happening on the 9th. So what does this mean? What we want to do is go within. It's in Pisces. All the answers are within, right? This is tapping into your intuition. This is trusting yourself. This isn't going out and figuring out what's out in the world and what everyone says. This is like your own inner compass. Beautiful time to dream journal, to really spend time in meditation, to go to healers that can help you heal deeper traumas and wounds, a time to rest, a time to relax, a time to retreat, to calm the mind. So if you're needing to launch something, it's going to be really hard to get your ducks in a row to see things clearly because Mercury is under the fog and the haze of Pisces energy just until we get to the 9th. Now, when we get to the 9th and Mercury moves into Aries, it's like the lights come back on, the passion is there. We are talking and acting and speaking like a toddler under 7. We're bold, we're direct, we're passionate, right? Things are coming out a little bit more heated. Everything gets a little bit more tapped in and turned on. Now, on the 8th, Mercury officially runs into Neptune. So that's like the biggest day for maybe dreams to come up with guidance or answers. So be really cautious with what dreams are coming in around then. Spiritual conversations with people, tarot card readings, psychic readings, doing an astrology reading, anything that deals with the metaphysical or tapping into your higher self or getting answers from the other side is going to be, whoa. Literally, as soon as I said answers from the other side, a huge flash of light hit me in the eye from this mirror in front of me. That was so wild, you guys. So put March 8th on your calendar to, get answers from the other side. Woo! Okay, that was intense. But on the day after, on the 9th, Mercury is going to move into Aries. So that is where we are having the lights turned back on. We're tapped in, we're turned on, we're speaking and talking like a toddler under 7. We're bold, we're direct, we're passionate, we're saying what we want. We are asking for the things that we want. Like we are picking up steam. Our mind is full force, fire guns ablazing. So we really love that energy. That's going to be the time where if you have a project you want to launch, you want to, start putting things into motion for the astrological New Year energy, that little pocket of time that we have to launch something before retrograde season and eclipse season kicks off. Mercury is going to be your friend after the 9th. Now, we do have to remember that when we get to the 18th, Mercury is going to run into Chiron, the healer. So there might be wounds or conversations or things that trigger you that cause you to have some healing. It'd be a great time to do some talk therapy, to have an old conversation with someone that needs some healing, some forgiveness. And remember, this is right around the astrological New Year. Like this is the 18th and 19th. So big energy here. 2 days later, Mercury runs into the North Node. So very fated, very destined conversations, information you've been looking for a long time. It may suddenly appear, leading you forward, causing you to make a decision that changes kind of the trajectory of your life. So just be very cautious conscious with like what you're, exposing yourself to, who you're having conversations with, and the energy you're putting into learning things. So very mental after the 9th of March. And then let's talk about the sun seasons. As we start out the month of March, of course, we are in the sun season of Pisces. The sun will move from 10 degrees of Pisces all the way to 10 degrees of Aries in the month of March. And remember, wherever the sun is, it's shining a spotlight upon something. It's bringing heat and life and vitality. And so when you feel the energy of the sun hitting your skin, as we start out March, remember, it is radiating upon us the energy of Pisces. And so what do we do during sun season of Pisces? We rest, we retreat, we get ready for the astrological new year. So we are going to be feeling a little bit slower, wanting to kind of recover more. I call this kind of like crying season, where we are shedding and releasing a lot of emotions. Pisces is such an emotional and intuitive and sensitive energy. So you could just feel like you want to hibernate and cry and, clear things out of your life. And that's okay. The sun season of Pisces asks us to do that, asks us to tap into our spirituality and our emotional body, healing our chakras and paying attention to our aura. Like all these metaphysical things happen during the sun season of Pisces and getting us ready for the astrological new year. So on the 19th of March at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the sun will move into Aries, hitting 0 degrees of Aries on the spring equinox, and we are celebrating the astrological new year. So much excitement with that. If you're in our private Facebook community, come join us. We're going to have an astrological New Year party on the 19th where we can celebrate together as a community. We are going to have some giveaways. We're going to talk about the astro energy. We're going to talk about ways that we can initiate and take action for the year ahead, what we're going to get committed to. It's a fun time where we hang out for an hour, celebrate the astrological New Year. I know for a lot of us, we don't have a community or tribe that is always into astrology. So this we can do together. So come join me, my Astro fam, for that activity. You'll find the info for it in the description box below. But once that energy happens, we are moving into eclipse season. So the sun in Aries is being bold, being passionate, being direct, taking action. If you have your astrology alchemy journal, open it up to page 22. There's a bucket list here for you to do. Get these things on your calendar to really maximize the energy of Aries into your life. That is how we apply astrology. We take the energy, we infuse it into our life, and then we can be in that cosmic divine flow and literally alchemize our life. Now, remember, we're kicking off the month with the sun conjunct Saturn, coming out of that triple conjunction with Mercury. So getting more serious, getting more disciplined. So paying attention to this Pisces area of life in a way that we have not in over 30 years. And then on the 17th, the sun is going to run into Neptune. This is a very dreamy day. Again, anything that interacts with Neptune allows us to kind of, be artistic, be in the spiritual world, be more romantic. And so the sun is going to highlight a lot of those Neptunian themes. Now let's talk about the 2 lunations of the month. I will, of course, be making separate videos for these. So I'm not going to go too much into detail, but the first one this month is going to be the new moon in Pisces, happening on the 10th of the month at 12 degrees. Lots of energy here we can see in Pisces, very watery, very dreamy, very romantic. This is going to be a new moon about setting new intentions, new beginnings, planting new seeds in this Pisces area of life that we normally escape from, we avoid, we put rose-colored glasses on, we just have faith it's always going to be okay. And now Saturn is saying, nope, not this time. I'm here this time. I haven't been here for a new moon in Pisces in 30 years, and this time we're going to get serious. And Venus is involved with this too. So there is going to just be a lot of energy about us kind of rebirthing this area of our life in a more committed and disciplined way. And knowing that there's like this incredible, powerful energy of healing. So rest, release, retreat, be emotional, go within, lots of amazing things. We'll talk more about that in the new moon in Pisces video. So come back for that. And then the other lunation of this month, obviously, is the full moon in Libra, our first eclipse of this season. That is happening on the 25th at 5 degrees of Libra, when the sun is in Aries at 5 degrees, the moon in Libra at 5 degrees. The nodes themselves are at about 15 degrees. And this is going to be a very relationship focused full moon. So much I can talk about with that, of course, with Saturn and Venus conjunct, after their conversation at the last new moon solar eclipse in October, completing and ending a cycle. So much illusion removed, taking people off of pedestals, seeing your relationships clearer than ever, seeing people for who they truly are, making decisions based on your own wants and needs and not based on saving the other person or helping the other person. Ooh, there is going to be so much to talk about with that. And remember, it's an eclipse, so what's meant to be will be. We just have to ride the roller coaster and make the adjustments the universe is asking us to. So that is all the planets, all our life coaches, what they're up to this month, the lessons they're trying to teach us. Let me know in the comments below, as any of these planets move through the month of March in the sky, are they activating anything in your chart? Any specific areas of life that are heavily impacted for you? Let me know in the comments below. And what we're going to do now is do the date by date breakdown. This is where I do what's in the stars. So for those of you who like to kind of look at your calendar, look at the weeks ahead, map it out more on a date by date basis, let's get into that right now. I'm going to reset this chart for the first of the month and we're going to break it down date by date. So as we move into the month of March, remember we are coming out of the triple conjunction energy. And so we're really going to start out with the first full week of March. What's in the stars from March 2nd until March 9th? We're kicking off the month with the big energy of Venus and Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. Remember, Venus rules over all the things that we love, our relationships, our money, our material possessions, our creative projects. And Uranus is the liberator. He's going to take the shackles off of us where we're held back in any of these areas of our life. He is going to bring sudden jolting changes and surprises to us. It could be in our relationships. It could be in our financial situation. It could be with a material possession. So this can be jolting and unexpected, being very cautious around the 3rd and these themes of your life because they make it a little shakeup. And on the 9th, Mercury is going to move into the zodiac energy of Aries. So this is a big deal because until that date, our mind is kind of slow. Our mind is in Pisces. It's water. We're being intuitive. We're going within. It's like we're kind of foggy. We're kind of hazy. We're feeling really dizzy. We can't really seem to grasp anything. Our conversations are just not going anywhere. Once we get to the 9th, Mercury moves into Aries. Things are starting to pick back up. The lights are turning back on. We're full of passion. We're full of direction. People might get really selfish in the way that they're speaking or acting. People start to kind of talk and communicate like a toddler under 7. But that's going to allow us to kind of move forward on some projects and things that were kind of hindered when Mercury has been in the zodiac energy of Pisces from the 1st of the month until the 9th. And that's going to wrap up the first week of March. So lots of Pisces energy still going on. But as we move into the second week of March, things get really dreamy. I absolutely love this week. So what's in the stars from the 10th until the 16th of March? We kick off the week with this new moon in Pisces on the 10th, the sun and the moon at 12 degrees of Pisces. This is so dreamy. This is so romantic. This is a time to rest and retreat. Allow us to have these new intentions to go within. This is a great time for you to go to like a sound bath, a meditation, to go to a healer, to be with friends, to do spiritual practices. If you're an artist, paint or draw or create something. Magic can be had under this new moon. Remember, the sky is super dark. So, really kind of embracing the romance and the magic at this time. Such a beautiful energy as we kick off this week. And then the next day on the 11th, Venus enters into Pisces. The moon is just coming out of this energy. And so we are going to be feeling our heart, our Venus, our love, our relationships with this Pisces energy, being more forgiveness, being more compassionate, being more empathetic. I love when Venus is in Pisces. She brings so much romance into our life, so much pleasure into our relationships, allowing us to be more deeper than ever, being more heart-centered than ever, being more empathic with one another. It is such a dreamy, beautiful time. So this week, not only do we have the new moon in Pisces, but we now have Venus in Pisces, and she's going to bless us here for the rest of the month. We move into the third week of March. This is action-packed, shifting energy. What's in the stars from March 17th until the 23rd? We kick off the week on the 18th with the sun becoming conjunct to Neptune, a very dreamy time, right? The sun is going to highlight and bring heat and life and vitality to Neptune, our dreamer, the one who lives larger than life, the artist, the intuitive, the creative. Be careful with your spiritual dreams at this time, intuitive downloads. If you're an artist, make sure you schedule time to paint. You might get these magical kind of, downloads into your painting, a very ethereal time. I absolutely love the 18th. Also on that day, Mercury is conjunct the North Node. So if Mercury is conversations and messages and communication and answers and collecting data, and the North Node being our destiny, being fate, you might have these very powerful messages that come in, very life-changing, intuitive inspirations. It's such a beautiful, beautiful day. I love the 18th, which then leads us into the 19th, the Astrological New Year, the spring equinox, the sun moving into the zodiac energy of Aries. Super, super exciting day. Happy Astrological New Year. Make sure you celebrate. Now the sun is in the fiery, passionate energy of Aries. We love this. The sun is bold. Aries is bold. We feel like life is happening. Spring has sprung. Everything is possible. It's such a beautiful, powerful day. And the next day, Mercury is going to end his conjunction with the North Node and run into Chiron. And so this is where healing is possible, where maybe we are able to receive information about the healing that we need. So maybe you have a talk with your therapist and you just really kind of hit the nail on the head on the healing that you need. Maybe you get some information for a physical issue you're having, and you get this kind of message or information or data on how you can heal yourself. So such a beautiful energy. Oh, on the 20th, Venus is going to come conjunct with Saturn. So that's something we want to pay attention to, because again, that is where like our relationships are coming to a head. Like we're having to make a decision if we're committed or not. And this energy is going to last us all the way to next week when we get to the eclipse energy. And then we actually end the week on the 22nd with Mars moving into Pisces. Oof. Now look how many planets we have in Pisces. We got Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Mars, the lover of the zodiacs, come together in this Piscean energy, this Jesus-like energy. When Mars moves into Pisces, he doesn't necessarily like to be here, right? Because Mars takes action. Mars is how we kind of make decisions and move forward. And he walks into this watery, energy of Pisces where it's like, I'm moving slow. I can't make things happen. And so we kind of feel like our stamina is going down. We're wanting to recharge. We're wanting to rest, even though it's the Astrological New Year. But the beautiful thing with that is when Mars is in Pisces, we're taking action based on empathy. We're taking action based on intuitive downloads, right? If Pisces is dealt with the spiritual realms and Mars is how we're taking action and how we're moving forward, we are taking action on our own intuition, on what we feel is right. So that is going to be a beautiful energy as we're moving forward through the Astrological New Year. Now, as we end the month of March, remember, we are in full force eclipse energy here, and we're just about to retrograde season. So things are getting dense, things are happening, shifts are, in our reality right now. We're thinking differently, we're feeling differently, we're experiencing things in a new way. Like lots is happening at this time. So as we move into this week, what's in the stars from the 24th until the 30th, the first thing is we have Venus in a sextile with Uranus now. And so this is a supportive energy. When the planets are having sex, it's supportive. Venus is what we love. Remember, our money, our relationships, our material possessions, our creative projects. And Uranus is helping to liberate us, to bring us a surprise, to bring us something that moves us forward into the future. And so, whatever square was happening at the beginning of the month where a jolt or shift came into our relationships, an unexpected thing, or our money or a material possession of ours. Now it's like, oh, that's why that happened. Now I'm receiving this. Now this better thing is happening. Now I'm more in flow and I'm moving towards my future with my relationship, with my money, with some sort of material possession in a better way than I was at the beginning of the month. So we're kind of ending this week with that. It's positive for love. You might have an unexpected kind of financial situation come up in a positive way. So just be careful on the 24th. Now remember, Venus is still conjunct Saturn here. So it's like, we got to do the responsible thing. We got to take action in a way that is supportive for our future, but that may come with a tough decision. So just be cautious with that. And then we end the month really with that big, powerful full moon in Libra eclipse. So much more that we can talk about with that, but we can see we have so many planets here in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, a big pileup going on here, a lot of potent energy in the zodiac sign of Aries, opposite where that full moon is going to be. So very shifting in our relationships. And we'll break that down so much more in the full moon eclipse video. But that is the month of March. Okay, we made it. I know that was so much information affirmation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos, spending time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the lens that I take when I talk about astrology through the perspective of having better relationships. I'm going to end this video with just sending you so much love and light as we navigate the upcoming eclipse season. I know for so many of us, it's going to really take us out of that people-pleasing tendency. It's going to shift a lot of our relationships and the way that we show up or what we demand of our relationships, stepping more into our main character. And I know that's not always easy to do. So just, sending you so much love as you kind of navigate your relationships this month. Happy Astrological New Year. I hope you are going to celebrate in some way, whether it's, with some friends or by yourself, or even joining us in our private Facebook group. So we would love to have you. If you still need your astro forecast reading for the year ahead, I would be honored to dive in with you. My calendar, luckily, is open again. I've been booked out since we got back from Africa at the beginning of the year, but the month of March is looking pretty open if you want to dive in and kind of see what areas of your life are going to be impacted by the eclipses, where Saturn is trying to teach you some lessons in Pisces, see how it's going to impact you based on your own unique chart, and so much more. I'd be really honored to do that. You can find my booking link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe. You guys leave the best comments. You literally warm my heart and give me the energy and encouragement to make more and more videos. And so I really, really appreciate you. In the rising sign breakdown coming up next, we're going to be focusing on the relationships in your life where you may have to make some tough decisions in Pisces, where Saturn and Venus are coming conjunct. And I'm also going to be breaking down where you in the relationship with yourself needs to focus more attention, get into your main character energy wherever Aries is in your chart. So let's go ahead and break that down next. I will catch you guys in the next video. You can skip ahead to your timestamp for your rising sign. Aries risings in February, you're going to want to pay attention to the relationships in your 12th house. The 12th house is Pisces for you. And so this is where Saturn and Venus are coming conjunct. And so there are relationships in your life that may need some emotional attention, maybe are affecting your mental health, things that are kind of sabotaging you from reaching your dreams, reaching your goals. So you want to take an inventory and an assessment of anyone that is hindering these areas of your life. Maybe you need to go to therapy with somebody. Maybe you need to have a conversation with somebody. Just know that anyone that is impacting your spiritual, mental, or emotional health may need a new rearranging or new commitment, or you may need to take some disciplined action to change the dynamic in that relationship to preserve your mental and emotional health. Now, Aries for you is your first house. And so where you want to step into your main character is in your identity. I want you with the eclipses and Aries season and the astrological new year to focus on you, your needs, your wants, your desires, so much energy to step into your new avatar, how you want to be seen in the world, changing your wardrobe, cutting your hair. Like, this is your season. Not only is it the astrological new year, but it is your personal new year. So focus so much energy on yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. This is all about you as we move into Aries season. Taurus risings, Pisces falls in your 11th house. So the relationships around your friendships, your social group, the communities you interact with may have a very jolting change necessary to them, with Saturn and Venus coming conjunct in this area of your life. And so maybe there are people in your life that you no longer want to be committed to. Maybe you're recognizing that friendship groups don't align anymore and you have to make a tough decision to cut out of them. Maybe there's a social group or social club or networking group that you've been a part of for a long time and you're just not finding value in it anymore. Maybe you're someone that always gives and gives to your friends and now you're saying, no more, I need to cut this out. And so the relationships in your life, specifically around friendships, are going to have a change or a tough, disciplined action you're going to have to take with the Saturn Venus conjunction. But you got this, because what you need to be doing instead with the North Node in Aries in the eclipses affecting your 12th house is really focusing on your mental health, your emotional health, your physical well-being. We're really looking at taking care of all the things in your life that have to do with your energetic body. So old traumas that need to be healed, spiritual up-leveling that you need to do. Maybe there's some emotional things that you need to release. So really you need to be focusing more on your healing and less about how you're serving or giving up yourself to your friends and to your social groups. So a lot of shifting going on for you from the friends to more about yourself and your own healing. So step into that main character that is taking care of you. Gemini risings, Pisces is your 10th house. So we are talking about Saturn and Venus coming conjunct in your career sector. And so relationships around your career may need a jolt, may need a shift, may need a recommitment. And so who in your life do you interact with that either benefits your career or hurts your career? Maybe you've been business partners with someone for a long time and it's just not working out and you're having to make a tough decision to cut it away. Maybe you've been in business partnerships with other companies or other establishments, and it's just not going in your favor anymore. And so now you have to make a tough decision and cut it away. Maybe even it's with your boss or recruiters. So relationships around your career are needing you to take a tough, disciplined action to create new commitments. Maybe it's saying, hey, you know what? We've been practicing this, we've been trying it on, and I really like it, and I want to get committed to it, and I want to put more energy to it. That might be happening as well. So really this Saturn Venus stuff, asking you, what do you want in relationships around your career and who wants to stick around for the long term that feels in alignment for you. Now, the 11th house for you, your friendship area of life, is where the eclipses are happening. And the North Node is asking you to step into new social groups, new community organizations, new friendship circles, and paying attention to these areas of your life, giving that the attention, stepping into your friendship groups with people that feel authentically aligned to you. And so instead of focusing so much in your career sector and making tough decisions in your career, go out and meet new people, get your feet wet, take bold action, and get out there with people out of your comfort zone. And you never know who you might meet that could impact your career sector in the next chapter of your life. Cancer risings. This puts Pisces where Saturn and Venus are meeting up in your 9th house. And so these are relationships in your life around mentors, people that you have been going to for wisdom or guidance. It could be, someone in your life, in your family that you've always gone to for advice. We could be looking at people in your life that are spiritual mentors, spiritual leaders, your pastor, maybe someone that has guided you, throughout the course of your life. And now these relationships are needing a shift. Saturn and Venus meeting up here is saying, hey, are these still people that I want to take advice from? Do my beliefs and my philosophies in life still align with them? I've always just trusted this person blindly, but maybe I'm seeing it differently through a different lens. And so you're recommitting to people in your life that you look up to or help guide you in some way. Or maybe you're saying, you know what, I've outgrown these relationships and I'm shifting away from, being the mentee and I want to become the mentor. And even with like spiritual practices, maybe you've always had a pastor or a religious, person in your life that maybe you're just not feeling super aligned with anymore. And that's okay because you're shifting and growing with Saturn moving through Pisces in your 9th house. And you're asking for more expansiveness and wanting to create more discipline around your own beliefs, your own way of seeing the world, and doing things that are more in alignment with your philosophy that you're growing into. Now, with the North Node being in Aries in your career sector, this is really exciting. We're going to have fated, destined openings and opportunities around your career with the eclipses coming in. And so this is where you want to focus your energy. This is your main character era. This is time for you to step into your career like never before. You have to be bold. You have to take a risk. You have to be led with passion, but it's time for you to really step into that main character. What do you want? What are your dreams? What are your goals? Like, get focused and clear on that area of your life, and just know that the relationships that are kind of shifting and changing, it's okay because you're really focusing your attention on your purpose, your legacy, and your reputation that you're creating for yourself. Leo risings, this puts Pisces in your 8th house where Saturn and Venus are coming conjunct. And this is your house of connected finances. This is money tied to other people. We're talking about debts and loans, inheritances, taxes. We're talking about your partner's money, anyone that you are related to in a financial way. Maybe you're dependent on them in a financial way. Maybe other people depend on you in a financial way. Any relationship in your life that is financially tied may need this Saturn Venus recommitment. You need to maybe make a tough decision of you not wanting to support someone anymore or be supported by someone anymore. Maybe you need to rewrite the contract, rewrite the rules, get recommitted, and say this is what it needs to look like as we move forward. So just pay attention to relationships in your life. Financial stuff could be coming up, and challenges could be coming up around these topics. Now, also, this is your area of life of intimacy and sex. And so maybe you're making new commitments in these areas of life and thinking things are coming up and you're having to say, this is what I'm aligned with and this is what I'm not. So just be cautious around these topics. However, Aries is in your ninth house. And so your North Star right now, the energy you should be focusing on, stepping into your main character, is exploring the world, is traveling, is getting out there and meeting new people, experiencing other cultures, trying new languages. This is a time for you to expand your horizons, take risks, go do things, and learn through experience. Get out there and see the world, step into your main character, and meet new people. This is a really exciting time for you to do that with the eclipse season and the astrological new year. Virgo risings, this puts Pisces in your seventh house, your relationship house. So having Saturn and Venus conjunct in your relationship sector is very intense. Now, Saturn has been working your relationship since March of last year, and he's trying to teach you a lot of deep lessons on who you want to be committed to. What kind of relationships do you actually want in your life? So this is a bigger theme that is not just for the month of March, but really going on for this 3-year cycle of Saturn in Pisces. And now with Venus showing up here and saying, hey, who do I love? What do I love? My money, my material possessions, my relationships, do they need to be revamped? Am I committed to this person? Does it need more energy? Does it need more discipline? Or do I need to make a tough love decision and say, you know what, you're just not for me? So relationships for you this month, especially with this Venus Saturn stuff, could be very, very challenging. But just know the tough decisions you have to make are going to help move you forward. Now, the North Node in Aries in your 8th house is helping you step into your main character in your intimate spaces, allowing you to go deeper with someone, to become more vulnerable with someone, going to help you kind of embrace your sensuality, your sexuality, your psychic abilities. So this is really exciting. Also, the North Node in Aries around these eclipses is really bringing in fated opportunities to connect yourself with other people financially. So maybe someone's investing in you, maybe someone's supporting you, maybe you're getting a loan that you've been waiting for a long time. And so stepping into your main character energy in the financial sectors of your life is going to be so exciting as we move into the astrological new year and eclipse season. Libra risings, Pisces is your 6th house. So when we have Saturn in our 6th house, this is a time where we have to get very serious about our health. And you tend to kind of have this energy around your health with Pisces ruling your 6th house, where you kind of just like put it on the back burner. You have faith, you put rose-colored glasses on, you kind of escape, you maybe have some toxic habits or traits or behaviors when it comes to your health, and you don't like to be serious or committed about it. But Saturn's here and shaking that up. And when Venus comes along, any relationship in your life that is sabotaging your physical health or your routines or your overall well-being is going to need to go. You're really having to learn a lot of lessons about being committed to yourself. And very much because it's Pisces, you're very energetically sensitive. Being in someone's negative energy, when someone's having like tough emotions, when someone's kind of purging themselves on you, you take that in and that affects your physical health. And so pay attention to relationships this month that are draining you energetically, that are sabotaging you from your health goals. These may be relationships that with Saturn and Venus conjunct here, you're having to say no more. And you're having to recommit yourself to people that make you feel good and want to improve your well-being. So hiring a nutritionist, hiring a physical therapist, hiring a coach in some way, someone that's going to help you reach these goals might be someone you have to commit to this month with Venus and Saturn coming conjunct in your 6th house. Now, where the North Node is in Aries, Aries ruling your 7th house, this is so exciting. This brings fated, destined relationships to you. They could be romantic, marriage possibilities, business partners, collaborations, and new, deep, intimate friendships. This is such an exciting time with the astrological new year, the sun warming up and heating up your relationship sector, and the node of destiny, new opportunities, and fate kind of coming in. Super exciting energy. So pay attention to the excitement happening around romantic relationships and protect your health by cutting out people that don't kind of encourage your overall well-being. Scorpio risings, this puts the Saturn and Venus conjunction in your 5th house, which is our dating and romantic sector of life. It also rules your children, your creative passion projects, and people that you like to have fun with. And so right now, Saturn and Venus coming conjunct in this area of your life is saying what relationships in your life are fun, that bring joy to your life, that nurture your inner child. And if they don't, maybe they got to go. Maybe they're not serving you. So Venus is like saying, hey, I want my life to be beautiful and pleasurable. I want the people I date to bring joy into my life. I want to have projects and passion and entertainment and games and fun with somebody. And if they don't want to do the same things I want to do to have fun, then maybe I can't commit to them. And so this is a big time for you, maybe going from the dating phase to saying, I want to commit to this person for the long haul. So a lot of your relationships where you're kind of just exploring are either going to go to the next level, or you're going to say, nope, this isn't the person for me and I have to move on. So this is either going from the dating to the marriage level, or saying, you know what, this is just all it needs to be. I need to find someone else I can have more fun with. So pay attention to that. Now, Aries is your sixth house. So right now there's a lot of energy with the North Node and the eclipses and the astrological new year, the sun heating up your sixth house of health and wellness. And so I want you to step into your main character energy, focusing on your health, your needs, your wants, your desires, getting into your routine, and really allowing, yourself to prioritize your own physical well-being and your day-to-day habits. Sagittarius risings, this puts Pisces in your fourth house where Saturn and Venus are coming conjunct. And so we're looking at relationships in your life tied to your home and to your family. And so there might be family members in your life that are challenging you right now, people in your life that you've always maybe been there for. You've been, the savior in their life, always supporting them with this Piscean, Jesus-like energy, always been their, safe space. And now you're saying no more. Saturn is asking you to commit to your home and your family in a way like you have not in 30 years. And Venus is showing up and saying, how do we bring more pleasure to my home? How do I bring more pleasure to my family? Well, I have to commit to the people that bring pleasure into my home, right? And so maybe you've been letting a brother, a cousin, a friend, someone live in your home, and it's just not working out anymore. And you're having to make a serious, tough decision of saying, hey, this is how I want my family and my home life to look. Maybe you're having a tough conversation with a family member and saying, hey, I'm not going to do this for you anymore. I always have, but not anymore. So your relationships around family and your home life are going to be challenged this month. But where we can focus our energy, our main character in the Aries area of our life is around your hobbies, your entertainment. What do you like to do for fun? Your fifth house is the fun house. So what creative passion project are you wanting to start? Are you wanting to date? Are you wanting to go on, romantic endeavors with someone? Are you wanting to start a new hobby? Where can you add more fun into your life, nurture your inner child, step into your main character era in these areas? And the challenges around your home and family may not seem so serious. Capricorn risings, this puts Pisces, where Saturn and Venus are meeting up in the sky, in your third house. And so relationships where you have a lot of communication with, conversations with, people you connect with on a daily basis around sharing information and knowledge may be challenged this month. And so maybe you're a teacher, or maybe you're a student, or maybe you're someone that is in media. Maybe you're someone that writes a blog or does a podcast with someone. Any relationship that deals with sharing a lot of information or having a lot of conversations with may be very challenged this month. Because with Saturn in Pisces, you're really learning to think differently. You're learning to speak differently. You're learning to express differently. You're wanting to kind of share your voice in a way that you've never done before. And Venus is bringing more pleasure to that and allowing you to make your voice be heard in a way that feels really good to you. And other people may not like that so much. So just be cautious with relationships when it comes to communication and conversation. That's where really the challenge is going to be for you this month. But where you can step into your main character, where I want you to focus your energy with the North Node being in Aries and the astrological new year and the sun heating up this area of your life, is around your home and family. Give that your attention, make your home more beautiful, create, a beautiful energy when you're at your home, whether that is a DIY project, rearranging things in your home, spending more time with your family. You're going to have a lot of beautiful opportunities with the eclipses to expand your home or bring new faded literal opportunities to your home life. So relish in that amazingness, and any communication or conversation in relationships, just kind of let that be. Aquarius risings, this puts Pisces in your second house, your financial sector. And so when Saturn and Venus meet up in your money house, this may be affecting any relationship you have tied to someone else when it comes to your money. or your material possessions. Venus rules over all the things we love. She loves to be in our second house because she can bring more beauty and pleasure and harmony to this area of life, to our money, bringing in more beautiful material possessions. But with Saturn here, he's like, hold up, for these 3 years, I'm teaching you some money lessons. I'm teaching you to get responsible. I'm teaching you to get committed. I'm teaching you to have discipline around your money. And now Venus is showing up. And yes, she wants beautiful things here. And yes, she wants to buy those things. But do we really need to buy those things? And so there are people in your life that may be withholding money from you, that maybe people aren't spending as much money on your services. Maybe your budget's getting tighter. Maybe your partner is saying, hey, we can't be spending our money on these things. And so any relationships in your life that is preventing you from getting more money or challenging you financially are relationships you need to look at. And it's, what relationships do you want to be committed to, and saying to yourself, how do I want to make money right now? This is a big question for you. How do I want to make money? One-on-one clients, group clients, maybe it's not even taking clients and it's selling a product on the internet. Like, you're really going to have to challenge yourself right now with Saturn and Venus and saying, how do I want to make money? How do I want to spend money? And what relationships in my life impact these areas? So pay attention to that. Now remember, Aries is your third house. So with the North Node being in Aries, the eclipse is happening here this month, and the sun on the Astrological New Year entering your third house. This is a time for you to really heat up your mind, research, ask questions, connect with people, have conversations, go to social events where you can network, be around people that maybe have information for you, to answer questions for you. I really want you to step into your main character and turn on your mind and dive down to some rabbit holes. Find that answer, find that information, to listen to podcasts, like really absorb all the information and ask all the questions. This is going to be so beneficial for you in the month of March. Pisces risings, this is going to put Pisces obviously in your first house. So Saturn and Venus entering your house of identity. This is very much about the relationship you have with you, your self-talk, your self-sabotage, your victimization. This is about who you are and how you want to be seen in the world and the way in which you want to step up. And so Saturn is really challenging you in these 3 years to say, you know what, who am I? How do I want to show up and people to see me? And Venus is saying, well, if you want to be seen as beautiful and magnetic and pleasurable, we got to change some things. We got to adjust some things. We got to commit to some things. Maybe we need to commit physically to working out more. Maybe we need to commit physically to what we're wearing and how we're presenting ourselves. And so Venus is going to bring more pleasure and beauty and harmony and magnetism to you this month. But Saturn is saying, you know what, we got to make some decisions, what that's going to look like, and get committed for our upcoming next 30 years. So it could be a very physical and identity shifting month for you. But remember, Aries is your second house. So as the North Node and the eclipses come about and the sun moves into Aries on the Astrological New Year, heating up your financial sector, I want you to tap into your main character energy. I want you to focus your attention, your passion, your drive on your money. How are we going to make money? Where are we making money? Who is going to bring me money? I want you to look at your budget and your material possessions and really focus on this area of your life. You have such opportunity this month to draw in some newness and some goodness with the eclipses. So pay attention to your money sector, making money, and let the identity shifts begin.